I have nothing more to say. So we're going to go to Sneaky on what did you think of that incredible second round?
Man, that round was a lot longer than I really thought it was going to be, and a lot of momentum swaps. And I think that was a lot due to they were changing their playstyles quite frantically. And at the beginning, I saw Viridis really bring a lot of new skills to the table. Some new skills to the table that they didn't bring in round one. They were a lot more controlled, and we'll talk about this here in a second, but they have a lot more control in the bubble and often would use their other players as passing opportunities to make to an OT, which was extremely important. And the OT victory ultimately came down to a really good read from Callan. We're not surprised to see that, but it'll be great to see. So starting in round one, we see some missed opportunities from Viridis here. Viridis has the opportunity here with a loose disc, and it is recovered by Viridis. However, here at this moment, Viridis has the opportunity of a pass on the left side here and a pass down on shield. Unfortunately, the offensive player decides to make a move down towards goal. And you see what happens here is coverage right there. If they were to use these opportunities here in the bubble, which we see them use later, they could have easily made an opportunity here off nest or from behind. So in the first clip, we see that results in a turnover and ultimately results in a Senet goal. Moving on from that moment, we see another missed opportunity from Viridis here. On their rollout themselves, they send a potentially botched play where you got two players both on one side of the arena. This becomes a quick issue because this is now covered by one individual. And while they're covered, the other player is playing pretty deep and they're also covered by this mid stack. While this may be a strategical error, it could also be a technical error, we're unsure. But it resulted in what became a possession change to Senet. And we see that happen throughout round one, which led to the quite dominant victory by Senet. However, when we switch over to round two, Viridis quickly changes that. They're able to bring a new type of play and hold good possession. So here in this, you see Gilligan get the disc on the backside, and they're able to use different geo, different bouncing, hold possession with each other, and be able to pass to make a good shot. We see they didn't try to make too many aggressive plays, but it worked. It was simple, and it worked to get in the goal. And this goes on to lead to a quite large Viridis victory, or in the middle of the round, as Senet started to make large mistakes. Senet here making a mistake as the disc flies out on their own joust. And you'll see they're just truly unable to recover from this mistake. You've got a lone guy here, a lone guy here, a lone guy here, no stacks. And you've got three Viridis members all tracking down this free disc. And that ultimately leads to the Viridis goal. And this compounds on it to get a large score from Viridis. However, we'll see that they often are able to come back here in Senet with this quick chain turnover. And we see this happen in round one, but in round two is extremely prevalent. This play from Gilligan, while it was a great play on their idea here, you've got an offensive man wide open here down here, and you got an offensive man up high on the other side. These are both open passes, but this might have just been a tactical blunder from Gilligan, and it ultimately led to a turnover from that chain that came from over here. And while these guys were both open, the play was great. It was just the execution that maybe that blundered there for this open goal from Senet. Ultimately, it led to the OT, and the OT win was one of the best plays in the game. Just a quick overview of that play. See, we have Gilligan here, and he's going to ultimately make a clear down mid. And clears down mid are quite rough in Echo just because they're really predictable and they're really coverable. And we see how that plays out here. He makes a clear down mid, and Callan here was waiting, knowing that it might have been a mid clear, was able to recover the disc. Pass to a teammate on the rim and go for a dunk. Overall, I mean, it was a lot of momentum swaps. We see a lot of different play changes. And I think Viridis had it at one point, but some blunders kind of threw the momentum off their side. So that's how the game went. So I think it was a great game.
Yeah, absolutely. And that will be us wrapping it up. Thank you so much to our sponsors. And
so Sneaky and Andy going to do some analysis. So yeah, thank you, Foxy.
Right. So Round 1, we saw the chaos, and round 2, we saw kind of a recovery on that chaos. And I just want to show some of the glimpses of control that we saw from Olympus in round 1 going into what we saw in round 2. So here in round 1, pretty early in the game, 8-2 lead at the 5-minute mark. We see a few mistakes from Olympus. Initially with this botch pass from, or actually that's a good pass, but there's the botch pass, as the backliner is able to actually recover it here. And he's playing a very strong position. We've got 3 up, and then any potential for a backboard here, here, or maybe a miss up high are all going to bounce either high or down to the side where he's at. And he's in a really strong spot to recover this disc. And what that leads to is now we got 3 in the bubble with 1 in the back with disc control. Leads to a single pass, which goes into a solo play for the goal. And we see those little bits of control there, even in the chaos of round 1, led to the goals that they're looking for. Further, we see some more control from Olympus in this bubble setup clip. We've got him in bubble here with disc control. And again, we see the strong position. While we've got 2 kind of here, too close together, we've got 1 strong offensive player here, and we've got 1 in the back with disc control. And as we see it play out, that back offensive player is able to get good control of the disc, pass up for 1 more into a dunk. And we see that control work throughout all of round 1. And then especially going into round 2, we saw the first really what I think was the strongest sense of control from Olympus. And this is what really I think set the tide for round 2. We see the disc recovered on their side with a single mildly risky pass to a covered guy up here. After this pass, he was able to pass it down back to the other original player. And what you don't see in this moment is the stack in the back. The stack in the back is getting ready, and they're going to go right through mid, and they're calling out on comms, hey, clear it, clear it. And as he hears that, you get the clear down mid, and the stack's able to come through, recover the disc. And at this moment, you've got such a strong offensive position. We got 3 Olympus players on the 7 side before any of these 7 players are able to reach the goal. And from here, we've got a good open goal for a 3. Ultimately, I mean, the control really showed in this game. We've got 1 more clip of some pretty strong control on their side. And this just came from all the other control that they were able to have throughout the game. We just got absolute passing masterclass from the Olympus team. Good pass up into a clean cut for a goal right at the end. That led for the 13-0 victory, or the 13-0 at the 5-minute mark. I would say at around like the 15-0 point, it got a little crazy again.
Yeah.
But they were able to reel it back for a good 3, which puts them up to 18-0, and then they were able to come in with that last 2 for the 20-0 shutout.
Yeah, exactly. And especially they started kind of getting in the groove. It's pretty easy to get knocked out of it too, especially kind of whatever they did, whatever groove they figured out, it just continued to work over and over and over again. And especially when you're just running it for 5 minutes, you know, you can definitely kind of fall out of that a little bit. And I mean, that pass into the bubble there, that last clip is probably like one of the highest like percentage plays you can do, and especially if you can get a goalie to turn like that, it's pretty much a GG as soon as the goalie turns.
Right,
you're not saving it from 2 meters.
Yeah, once that cut pass happened, it was over from there.
Yeah. But all right, everybody, we should be back soon. I'm not sure what cast we're coming up with next, so please stay along. I know it says it in the intermission coming up, but please stick around. Thank you guys for joining us. I will be back here as well with Palidore, so please stay tuned. I'll see you guys soon.
Over to Sneakyevil now. Conclusion of this game. What did you see?
I was gonna say, no joke. I'm literally sweating right now. You guys can see. So are you, Palidore. We're literally sweating. That was phenomenal. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
It was good. I mean, you see Ace kind of brought out the offense they needed to at the end there to kind of bring it back together, and you saw they were able to kind of outstack the stack masters for a little bit there, and that was allowing them opportunities, some open threes, some good 2-point conversions, and especially in their bubble passing, they really showed up today. I got some clips to show if we can. Check if Sput can do it. We'll see.
All right, let's pull it up.
Yeah,
I love this. I love this.
So, I mean, we talk a lot about the ace play. I just want to showcase what a real ace play looks like and how, and then in the next clip, how they can counter it. Here we have Ignite running the ace play here. And the idea of the ace play is quite simple. The disc is actually grabbed by 2. And then you send 2 offensive players out as passing opportunities, usually here or in the tunnels. And you see as this plays out, they hit one off there, and the whole goal is that this chain is able to chain through mid, hopefully to the other side, usually on the floor or the ceiling, uncontested, and allow for that open pass through mid. And you see that happen right there. And that allows for this open 3, beautiful open 3 from Ryan. Not everyone can hit that shot.
No.
And then from here, we can go into how Ignite's able to absolutely just counter this play when Ace tries to run it, which is ironic because it's called the Ace play. So Ace tries to run it here, and you see the absolute just strength of the Ignite front chain coming in action here. So as you can see, the standard Ace play here, small chain holding the disc, but this Ignite front chain comes from absolutely nowhere and disrupts the chain. They don't even worry about the disc. A lot of people will try to contest the disc here. They don't worry about the disc because they know this chain is the ultimate goal of the disc. And in the destruction of the chain, now this player has nowhere to go with it. He has absolutely nothing because this chain is destroyed, and the only other player is over here. And they really try to go for this, but if you see, the back chain is very smart. You've got Kung driving that back chain, and he's a very smart player. He's already knowing that this is his only option, and when they try to make that play, they instantly dive on him and converge for what is a turnover. And while the clip ends, that is what the turnover happens. And that leads to an open 3 downfield with that front chain. So you see just the back chain and the front chain being able to outsmart them and being able to read them and almost manipulate them to a point where they can force all 3 offensive players to one side, know that the only other option's on the other side, and play with that with the back chain. Is just some of the little things that Ignite does that just puts them over the edge. It's so smart.
And that is some artistry, both on your part and for these two teams, Ignite and Ace. Just seeing that's kind of the interesting thing, right, about why Echo Arena and why sports like this are so infinitely playable. Is you have a certain play, but the fact is it's never going to go exactly the same way all the time. You have a general idea, but then there's those minute adjustments that each team has to make with each play, both defense and offense, to either get around the one adjustment or to come up with one of their own. So those subtle things where no launch, no game is ever exactly the same.
Right, and we know Ignite from, or when they were Joker, I guess, they were always the masters of round 2 switch-ups.
Yeah.
If rounds 1s were close, round 2s are never close. And, they know how to make adjustments. And you can see that because when they run the play, it usually runs, and it usually works. But when Ace runs the play, and especially in this game, you can see it got shut down a few times. So it's just, they're just on another level, both mechanically, but I think more intelligently and strategically.
And the applause in the room indeed. And Sneaky on analysis. What made that work? What made that happen?
I mean, look at the offense, right? Frost never missed a pass. Okay, maybe they missed 1 or 2, but, I mean, the dominance was really there the whole time. I almost want to say I see glimpses of, like, Joker. Not Ignite, but I see Joker in them, where the control is just so hard, and when they make a shot, or when they take a shot, it's either going in or it should have been in, if it wasn't for some insane goalie. I mean, you're seeing absolute dominance on the offense, and then even CJ, and also all the defenders that are working with CJ to stop that disc. Man, it's so cool to watch. And seeing Ignite go down one more time, I mean, everyone wants to say it, everyone wants to see it because it's interesting. And I mean, you see what it takes.
Yeah.
What it takes.
And with that, it took a lot, but my goodness, I know I saw Twitch chat pointing out as well, asking, last time that Ignite had lost the match with Game as well. But whatever the case is, that's why we say, expect the unexpected sometimes, because at the highest levels of play, wherever you are, online, LAN, or otherwise, all you need is a team to be feeling at their absolute best, and another team just, not quite there, and you're gonna see, what we saw here, a well-prepared game plan that was executed to perfection, and it resulted in the win that they desired. I think you got some more stuff for us here on the analysis end, so let's take a look.
I just kind of want to focus on some of that amazing offensive play from Frost here. I mean, you think about what it takes to have an offensive drive, and you got to pick the right passes, you got to be in the right spots. And if you see here in this play, I mean, the disc starts in the bottom left corner, and you'll watch it go back and forth, always picking the right pass here. It goes back, and then it goes up high, and even slightly covered, you'll see there's the disc control just out of this world. And then when they need to, even only at a 2-point lead, this team's able to bring it all the way back to their doubles and reset and take the time they need to control it past this Ignite defense. And the Ignite offense, yes, is the one we talk about, but the Ignite defense is nothing to joke about. I mean, they are a strong defense, and we saw these guys almost playing with them and getting it around. I mean, in that last round, we see a minute and a half, or it was a minute and 12 seconds of them just absolute control on their offense. And I mean, I've got so many more clips of them having an insane offense, and I'll show some more, I guess.
By all means, by all means.
Got one more here I'll show of just the dominance that they have in the bubble. I mean, a back pass all the way back, even when in the bubble, and you see them just slowly bring it up, even to the point where literally we're baiting players out. And we got coverage all around, but I mean, you'll see what happens. They just absolutely control everything about this bubble. It's all theirs. One more pass and it goes in for a shot. I mean, there's not many things more perfect than that when it comes to Echo Arena offense. We're seeing drives where the defense is barely even there to contest, and they're just playing around with them.
And I mean, they played around to the tune of a 3-round win, so that was so well done and supremely entertaining, because now we have another stellar and exciting match